welcome back, and we're going to talk a little bit today about scope of declarations. So basically scope means that where it's accessible, so it's a portion of the program that can be referred to as the declared entity by its name. So for instance, if you have a class variable, it's going to be available within the whole class. If you have it, if you initialize it and declare it within a method, then it's only available within the method. We spoke a little bit about this previously regarding parameters going into a method. For instance, in the math class, which is in the java.util package, so you don't need to import it. In the math class, you have max, and then you have int or double or whatever x and y, and that within the parameters within the method, it's only available within the method. And then once that call stack, so as we know from a previous video, that's LIFO, last in first out, so it's always on the top. And you push it on and you pop it off, and when you pop it off and it goes away, when the method is returns back with the return statement and it's finished, then that memory goes away. So then that is the only allocated for memory for that short temporary period of time within the call stack. And then you have as well also within a for statement. So we already had a talk about for statements. You have for, and then open bracket or for loop, and then open bracket int, and then counter equals 0, count, or whichever you want to, however you want to initialize it, and then whatever counter is less than or equal to 10, and then counter plus plus, and that's your iteration through the for loop. And within that for loop, that's it's only available within the for loop. So if you were to use the word counter anywhere outside of that, it wouldn't work because it's only available within the for loop. Then you have also the class variables, which we spoke about as well. You also have a thing called shadowing. So you have, for instance, when we use the java.util package, math class, math.max, and then we have int x, int y, for instance, we're passing through to it. We also could declare an x and y within the class as well. And once that method is executed, it's finished with the x and y in that instance. The x and y in the class then takes over, so it's shadowed, and that's why it's called shadowing. So you can use the same variable names, and then it's only available within the class or in the method, and then within the call stack it's finished, and then it returns back to the field scope or the method scope within the entire body of the class. So and then that's obviously accessible with the dot operator. So if you wanted to specify that you wanted to use the class variable as opposed to the method variable, then you can use the this keyword, which we'll come to as well. Okay, so I'm going to type out a program and then we're going to walk through it again. So I'm going to pause the video now and then type it out, and you can see what I've done so far. So hello. Okay, so we have I have written out the scope class. So obviously within the class we have a class variable, also known as a field here, and that is called x. X is in the scope of the class. So you can see here int scope.scope.x. So here is main. This is a method. So within the method there is another x declared as 5. Now within this, obviously this is going to be our shadowing that we were speaking about earlier. So this is x here, but there's also x here. So this is in the call stack for the method. This is the entry point of our program, and this will should print out 5 because it takes the method x variable. So you can see here it does print out 5. Local x in main is 5. Now there's a method call there's a static method call because it's a static method. So it's called use local variable, and if you go down to use local variable, there's another x initialized, so it's declare assigned and used, and x is equal to 25, so that should be 25. And then it basically increments it by 1, so then it's 26. So this is the equivalent, we spoke a little bit about the incrementation as well, about x equals x plus 1, and then if you do a pre-incrementation or post-incrementation, so it shows here that it's 1, and then this should print out 26. Now we have here another x, which is, after doing all these calculations, x is now 1. And so it says local x on entering use field is 1, which is going to be here. So we have our class variable is equal to 1, which is up here, and that's because there's no local method variable called x, it's using this one here. So 1 is going to be here, then it's going to multiply by 10, and then it's going to call more, and then do another local and entering use field. So we've got use field 1 and then 10, and then it calls the use local variable again, so 25, 26, and then use field again, 10, and then 100. So it also rewrites over the value. So if we have called use field more than once, so we're calling use field here and it's using 1, then it goes through here, it says 1, now it's 10, now we call it again, now it's going to be 10, and now it's going to multiply by 10, so it's going to be 100. And now it's going to say, and now it also prints out the local variable, which is 5, which is here. So within each of these, there's no calculation done in the main method for the x. It's just x here is going to be 5, and it's always going to remain as 5 because it's within this method. This is 25, and it's going to increase by 1. Then it's called again, and it's 25, and basically it goes away, like we said in the call stack, it goes away, the memory is finished. So it's only available within the method, but because it's a class variable, it gets reused when it's called again. So if I was, say for instance, to set this to 100 and then run it again, you should see that it's 100, then 1,000, and then it's 1,000, and then 10,000. So it's fairly evident the scope of the variables. That's why you have class variables versus method variables. Once you declare and use a method, like I keep wanting to reiterate this, because it recreates the local variable x and then reinitializes it to 25. So it's only available within the method, and then once the method is executed and return the variable, and the point of execution goes back to the main method here, then it's finished with that method. So this is your last in, first out. This is your pushing and popping. That's why it's really important to understand that logic. Okay, I'll put it up on GitHub. That's it for today. Thanks for watching, and I'm still waiting to hear acknowledgement about something that I'm working on, and will hopefully announce soon. And yeah, send your feedback to learncomputerswithali@gmail.com, and look forward to hearing your feedback. Okay, thanks very much for watching.